cheers to another episode of the Weinnotes podcast. I'm your guide, AJ Weinzettel, on this journey of stories showcasing the people behind the wonderful world of wine, where we dive into conversations ranging from terroir, viticulture, to favorite music, superpowers, and more. Please enjoy this episode of the Weinnotes podcast. Chase, thank you so much for taking the time today to be on the podcast. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Sounds like you're busy getting ready to bottle, some 2021s and, having a blast after the holidays and just getting back into the groove of things.
Yeah, just long holidays, lots of stuff going on with family, but yeah, back in the winery, getting ready to February 3rd. We have a big bottling of all of our reserve wines. So kind of just making sure those are all in tip-top shape, ready to go. And, they taste great. So it's a super vintage, one we deserved after 2020. So really looking forward to sharing them and getting them in bottle. And so just kind of, it's a slow time in the winery, other than just, getting ready to bottle and just monitoring the wines from last harvest. But it's, it's fun.
Yeah, no, it's one of the things that always intrigued me about L'Angolo is, the meaning, right? So it stands for, the corner in Italian.
Yeah.
And, so like the corner of two streets, and, there's quite a story between your parents, right? And they met over 44 years ago, on a street corner there in San Francisco. Can you elaborate a little bit?
Yeah,
47. Oh my gosh.
So L'Angolo was founded in 2012. We purchased the property just kind of at the end of 2011, early 2012, and then planted it. But it was I was looking around for just a great vineyard site where I was just going to grow grapes and sell them. And now we've made every wine that we picked off the property. So, but we found this beautiful 25-acre parcel here in the Dundee Hills, the north side of the Dundee Hills, on this east-facing slope at about 450 feet elevation, and it so happened to be on the corner of two streets, Dudley Road and Williamson Road. And while one of the hardest things to do with a brand is figure out a name, what are you going to call it? We thought about our last name, we thought about other things, and then you check out trademarks and what you can't do, what you loved. And then I started thinking, my background is in Italy. That's where I first kind of studied wine and winemaking. And then my parents met on a street corner in San Francisco 47 years ago. And they're really the ones that made this whole winery operation possible. So the corner is where they met. So the corner in Italian is L'Angolo. And so that's how we named it. And, I always like to say we have an Italian name, we make French varietals, and we're in the New World. So it kind of, doesn't make sense, but it still works because we're
right.
American, right?
Yeah, most definitely. And didn't your dad, walk up to your mom and say, I can't let you walk out of my life when he saw her on the corner of the street?
It was very, she could have taken it very creepily, I think, and slapped him or done something, but
right.
I think she had a giggle about it, and they went on a date, and I think 6 months later they were married, and 47 years later they're still happily married. So
that's absolutely amazing. And your dad, wasn't he like a hobby winemaker, in Napa?
Yeah, you know what? When I was about 4 or 5, so I think 1988, 89, he was going through a little bit of midlife crisis with his work, I think, and he ended up buying a little small house up in Santa Elena and planted a little 1-acre vineyard. He ended up always selling the fruit to Florida Springs, and they would make a little wine in turn and trade for managing it and taking the fruit. But him and his friends would also mess around. He had some friends that messed around with garage winemaking, so he was never in the winemaking thing, but he definitely had the wine hobby, the wine bug, but never got really into the industry until I started. I was in it, and then I convinced him to join me.
Yeah, no, that's great. And, in kind of reading kind of your your backstory, I mean, you're studying sociology in Florida, and you ended up taking, some sort of a wine class and kind of fell in love. But after you graduated, it was, not the best of times economically. So you ended up, you took a job at Whole Foods for a little bit, in the kind of like the wine part,
Specialty
but
wine, yeah.
yeah, specialty wine. But then you decided to pursue wine a little bit more and just go over to Italy, right?
Yeah, so I mean, originally I fell in love with wine when I was a junior in college. I studied abroad in Italy, and I took an introduction to wine appreciation course over there, and just thought it
Right.
was so cool, and so interesting. And I went back to school my senior year in Florida, and I was like, how can I learn more about this? I was intrigued. And there was a local wine bar, and I just went and dropped my resume, and it turned out they were looking for help. And I got to, bartend there and pour wines and open wines and drink wines that I normally wouldn't. And then, yeah, exactly that kind of '07 timeline was when I was finishing up school, and, the recession and not a great job market. And, wine was something I was passionate about. And my dad told me, follow your passion, and it'll lead you the right way. And so, yeah, I ended up taking a job at Whole Foods in the specialty wine, like being the wine guy at the Whole Foods shop. And that wasn't my total goal, I don't think. And I really was looking for what paths there were in the wine industry. And so I went back to school in Italy and studied more there, and did a wide range of courses and classes, and from wine making to viticulture to wine business, to history, and just fell in love with it. And then kind of started working, got out, finished there, and started working harvests around the world, and settled here.
And that's awesome. And I think like the Italian culture kind of had a, just a
Like
different way of looking
beautiful
through
bottle
a
of
lens.
Prosecco on a table, and
Yes. Oh, and I ran across this quote, and I'm just kind of curious. Is this something that you or your co-owner and I can't even pronounce your other Italian
Lignotta.
project?
Lignotta.
Yes. So I came across a quote, and I'm just kind of curious. Did you come up with this, or like what was the? I don't know, the inspiration, I guess. So the quote is, "When you come, embrace the Italian way of life. Don't take it for granted because it's a beautiful place and different than anywhere else. You should value the culture because Italians live life beautifully." Is that something that you said, or is it something that your co-owner said? I mean, is there any story, or just like poof, it just happened?
I said that. I think he probably did. But I mean, culture, the wine culture, and everything in Italy is an inspiration to me. I mean, I say I'm a wannabe Italian because I just so desperately want to live back there someday, and do business back there, and retire back there. I don't know. But yeah, there's a way to life there where everything is a little bit slower and more beautiful, and you take time to take things in. And I think wine is one of those things where they really understand over there, and it's part of the culture, and it's a part of life and sharing, and yeah.
Right, and I totally agree, and I think that when you look at of what you're doing here in Oregon, I mean, you definitely bring that presence and that feeling and that vibe as soon as you walk into the tasting room. It is quite remarkable.
Yeah, we try and be. I think we have that kind of respect for old world tradition, and hospitality, with somewhat new world style, where we're just trying to be ourselves. We're not trying to be anything we're not, and I think that goes a long way.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Oh, And one story that I've always been curious about, is the backstory behind Puddles. Oh,
Puddles,
what
is the most famous tasting room associate that we have.
ever? I know. I mean, there are just stories. I mean, every time I bring up Langlo, they're always like, "Have you seen Puddles? Did you go see Puddles?" And I'm like, "Yeah, of course," but I've never heard the actual backstory. I mean, what
So
brought
Puddles was
Puddles
actually
to
the
life?
first piece of art, piece of anything that we had in the tasting room. I actually have a picture of me, my dad, and my mom sitting on the floor in front of the fireplace right after the tasting room was done. No furniture, no nothing, only puddles on top of the fireplace. So
Right.
my mom and my sister are both very, my sister's an interior designer. My mom's very into that. So she saw Puddles one day before even the tasting room was built, and loved it and got it, knowing that it would go in the tasting room. But she named it Puddles because Puddles was the hippo at the San Francisco Zoo when she was a kid that they would go and see. So it kind of goes hand in hand, and Puddles in Oregon with all the rain we get. Yeah, it's just pretty fitting. It's kind of an attention grabber. People are always like, "Is that a hippo? I love that. What? It's so different." And everyone that works here is like, "Oh yeah, that's Puddles." So
Yeah,
that's
that
the
is
legend of Puddles.
Well, thank you very much for that. I've always been curious what the backstory was.
Yeah.
So you mentioned that. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. I mean, my mom would. I don't know. She has some stories about Puddles and how famous he was at the San Francisco Zoo. I don't know all of them, but she's the Puddles creator.
I will definitely have to do a little bit of research on the San Francisco Zoo. That'll be fun. You were talking about your dad not really being that much into wine until you kind of drug him into it. How did you drag him into it, or convince him to get in?
More just as a consumer. He had this goal when he had a little vineyard up in Napa when I was a child for 10 years, and then as we got older as kids and had sports and had different things, he couldn't make it up to Napa as much on the weekends for a little weekend getaway and do bike rides like he liked to. So he ended up selling that, and then I got into wine on my own. He just told me to follow my passion, and so I did that and worked around the world and went back to study it. And I think I was in Italy studying, and I was like, yeah, I might not want to leave. We should invest in a little property over here. Just kind of throwing a softball at him, hoping like kids say, when they want something that they know they can never have, they're just kind of throwing a softball out there, hoping that lightning might strike.
Right.
He had moved so I'm from the Bay Area. My whole family had moved to Oregon, to Bend. So they were all up in Oregon while I was doing my wine stuff. He's like, "No, there's no way. We're not doing anything in Italy." And I was like, "Well, Oregon, there's one place in the New World I would want to make wine. It would be Oregon." And he's like, yeah. And so I just kind of kept peppering him a little bit here and there with the idea. And then started looking. He's like, it was a slippery slope. I don't even know. This was, 11 years ago, which is crazy, that we started looking for properties here. And just, it's kind of all snowball effect. It went from, no, maybe we'll look and maybe we'll get a small piece, maybe plant it, maybe we'll be planted. We'll just sell the grapes. You can manage it, Chase, and do what you want to do. And then it just went from maybe we'll make a couple hundred cases here and there, sell to friends. So by the time the vineyard was established in 2015, we harvested everything. And it's been a wild ride.
Yeah, it really has been. I mean, it's been from just a little bit of time that I've known you.
It just kind of, you look back and you're like, oh, how did I get here?
Yeah, no, and it's amazing. And if we a lot of little things, and if we go back, to like 2018, there was the summer of give joy, the summer of 18 was the give joy, get joy, event, and Channing was part of that. Was that kind of like the first kind of collaboration between you and Channing, but all before Chosen Family kind of came about? Or
so 2018 we did 2018 and 2019 we did Give Joy Get Joy, which was an event pre-pandemic that was all focused on raising funds for the Children's Cancer Association here in Portland, that I'm involved with. And yeah, Channing had just retired. I met Channing through Jacob, a friend and employee here, who was the general manager here for a long time. And so, Channing moved back home and was really getting into wine and really wanted to learn more about it. So I do think that was kind of the starting point for Chosen Family Wines. Just the fact that we made custom magnums, custom etched, 50 of them, just that we blended together for the first time in the winery, bottled them, and every guest got them for that event for showing up. And yeah, that was kind of the start of it.
Wow, that is quite amazing. And also the summer or October of 2018, I didn't realize this until I, started diving in. That was, that marked a 1-year anniversary for you of being cancer-free. I didn't realize that was such a thing. Assume everything is going good.
Yes, 2017 was a rougher year. I was diagnosed with cancer and had to go through some surgery and some chemotherapy. Lost all my hair. It's back now. But
that's not a bad thing,
It's not, now I know what I'm going to look like when I'm older. But yeah, so it was a rough year, but yeah, 2018, I've been cancer free and I'm in remission. So everything's good. I feel healthy, feel good. Definitely appreciation of life, but that's a good thing to have that appreciation, and gain that perspective that I definitely never had. And yeah, getting to do what I do I feel very lucky every day. So I get to do what I'm passionate about and have fun at doing it, and hopefully help people have fun too.
Yeah, well, you definitely do that. It's and every time I see you, got a big old smile on your face, and you're just you're a very fun person to be around, and it just I'm trying to think of the word. It's contagious, right?
Thank you. But yeah,
going back a little bit.
That's how I ended up getting involved in Children's Cancer Association after I went through all that, and that's how the event started. Because I got on one of their boards for their nonprofit, and so I was like, what can we do to fundraise to give back?
Yeah, and as we were saying, life just kind of happens earlier, and something really great came out of that, which was Chosen Family. Ultimately, is what it sounds like. Mm-hmm. And holy cow! That's just. I remember, the pandemic. When Chosen Family launched, and then there was the 1 barrel challenge. And just so many things, has just skyrocketed with Chosen Family. And I believe, I think one of the next bottlings that you have coming out is some sparkling that you're working with Jackson at Granville. Is that correct?
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we have. That's been in 2020 was our first vintage, so that will come out, I don't know, in the next year or two. I'm not exactly sure when we're going to release that. But yeah, we started it, during the pandemic, this venture. We launched it during the pandemic, with just kind of small production, and it's, gained traction, and it's growing, and, making wines, doing new collaborations, and yeah, it's a good way to to have fun in different ways, because Longfellow is kind of one place, one thing. I'm very rigid about what it is. And Chosen's more of a artistic getaway, a more different artistic approach to the whole Willamette Valley and wines in general.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. And I think that the one barrel challenge that you did was very unique, and it really got your name, got the Chosen name out there really well. And, and Channing is always fun to talk with, and he is very passionate about his wine.
He is very, and I always say he's very authentic. He's not a name behind a brand that just is there. He puts in the time, and he's very motivated by it, and it's impressive.
It is very impressive.
What we did with the one barrel challenge, give joy, get joy. You can use wine as such a good tool for helping out with the important causes in the world.
Yes, I couldn't agree more. And, one of the most important causes in the world is, is being a dad.
God, I'm making me tear up here. She's the best.
Well, they are absolutely amazing. I think I was talking with Andy Lytle, and he was like, you need to have, Chase on your podcast. And I'm like, yeah, no, it's definitely, he's on my list. And while I was there, while we were talking, I was like, so what question should I ask Chase? And he said, what you need to ask Chase is, what do you enjoy most about being a new dad?
Oh God, it has everything. She just lights up my world. It's great.
Yeah.
People talk about how amazing, becoming a parent is, and you're like, yeah, I'm sure it'll be great when it happens to me. I'm sure I'll love it. I'm sure it'll be. And then it happens, and you're just like, oh, it's like a huge wave of just emotions and joy that this one little somehow living thing brings to your life. So it's just, my favorite thing is just how she can, if you're having a bad day, whatever, she doesn't know, and she just, you see her smile, and everything's just out the back door, wind took it away, and everything's right again.
Yeah, it very much is. And, it's, the teenage years can be hard, but holy cow, when she gets to be 13 or 14 and starts making some of her own decisions and, starts talking back a little bit here and there, you'll get frustrated, but good gosh, just, you start to see the real human, the adult that's starting to form. And it is incredibly magical.
Yeah, she's great. So that's a picture of my daughter, Camila Lucia Renton.
That's gorgeous.
She's almost 7
Well, thank you for sharing.
That was early. I don't know how old she was in that picture. It had to have been less than a month. Yeah. No, you were just beaming from ear to ear in that picture. So, I just couldn't help but to have that picture. So you've been, part of the Oregon wine community for quite some time. And I'm just curious, there's a ton of stories out there. Is there anything in particular for you that stands out in the Oregon wine community of a great story of collaboration, or just something in general that just really stands out to you? I have to think about what really what really stands out is, we talk about the Oregon wine community being collaborative, and I think that's, 100%, the case. Everyone's an open book, and it's really surprising, if you ask somebody even that you don't know a question about their stylistic approach or winemaking question, or how you did this or how you did that how open they are to respond and answer to you. And I've been here in Oregon just over 10 years, so it's a decade. What's crazy is I'm going into this year will be our 9th vintage from the property.
Wow.
which is just, it's kind of wild that this is going to be the ninth time that I've, picked grape. It doesn't sound like that much, but it's like, it's all of a sudden, it feels like just yesterday it was our first or second, and then all of a sudden be like, oh, this is going to be our ninth season growing fruit to produce into wine. Yeah, it's wild. But as far as a story,
and I know that some people have done stories of, just mind melding over what to do with 2020, people borrowing equipment or, or something of that nature.
I mean, talking to people about, even just, the text chains with different winemakers that I'm on, just like a little smoke that came in last year. It was just like so scaring for everyone. And it's just kind of, we're all in this together. There's that kind of feeling. So it was kind of when there was an eerie feeling about, oh God, is there going to be another fire season, another 2020 again? It's like we all had to like talk each other off the ledge almost. Be like, it's going to be okay. We're going to survive. We're going to, so it's like this peer group that is great. And yeah, it's just, it's harvest dinners, being invited up places and drinking wine at different wineries and cracking beers and doing everything. So I think that's the best thing about the Valley here.
Yeah, no, that is, I couldn't agree more. The way that just everybody helps each other out is absolutely amazing. So you mentioned Jacob earlier, and he's been around, for a little bit of time. And, my plan is to interview Jacob and also Channing, but you're the first one. So do you have some sort of like, question that I could ask Jacob or Channing that might get them to think a little bit and be like, oh, I don't know, something that might make them just a tad bit embarrassed or put a big smile on their face or something of that nature?
Well, Jacob, I met in 2014 on the first tee of a golf course, actually. So we're both golfers. We both love to play golf. So my question for him would probably have to be something golf related. Maybe you can ask him. I might say I beat him a little bit more than he beats me, but you might ask him who wins in our golf more. You might say him. So just put him on the spot there. But no,
I can do that. That'd be great.
Jake, he was been with me at Longlow since 2015. He actually helped me. He helped me with the first harvest. I was just alone, and he was kind of new to, or was looking for some new work, getting out of the film industry. And I said, I could always use somebody as just a hand, just to help me out, even though I wasn't making a lot of wine. And so that was his kind of first foray into Oregon wines and the wine industry in general. And he's a very charismatic person. And he can connect with kind of anybody, and that's a true gift that he has. And then I would maybe ask him how that harvest in 2015 was for him, what he thought about it.
Ooh.
That was his first. He'd never known anything about winemaking, or other than drinking some wine and stuff like that. And to get thrown into that kind of on the deep end is kind of interesting. And I might ask him questions about that harvest.
Okay, I can do that.
Yeah.
Anything in particular for Channing?
Oh, Channing.
He gets asked a gazillion questions, so trying to come up with something unique for him is going to be hard.
I should ask Channing, like, what is his favorite moment since his one most prideful moment since getting into the wine industry?
Yeah, no, that is a great question. Yeah, I can do that. I appreciate that. Thank you.
And then ask if Hendrix, his son, is going to be a winemaker. His potential to be the tallest winemaker ever.
Okay. I will be sure to ask that question. It'll be interesting to see what his reaction is. I have a few rapid fire questions, and I can let you off the hook if that works.
Yeah.
Okay. Favorite artist to listen to during harvest?
Ooh. Last year was Dire Straits, actually. The harvest is Dire. It was Dire Straits Radio. So that got us
okay.
Last year. Lots of 80s music. 70s, 80s.
Do you have right? No, that's definitely a nice little time period. Yeah. I remember Dire Straits playing in the roller rink when I was, in elementary school.
That's right. My parents, Dire Straits, REM, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So. Do you have a favorite indulgent food?
Sushi.
If you could choose a superpower, what would it be?
Oof. So my stepson is very into Marvel characters, DC, all the superpowers. So he would be better to answer this one. He would give you a really good one. Maybe going invisible.
Okay. Your harvest notes, are they digital or handwritten?
Handwritten.
Okay.
Very old school.
Do you have a favorite superhero?
What's that?
I think there's nothing wrong with that. I think there's nothing wrong with that at all. I mean, it's quite remarkable how many people are handwritten.
Put it on my chest. So if you see me during harvest, a lot of times I have just blue tape written all over me.
You need to post a photo of that on social media. That'd be great.
Next year you will. I'm gonna have something.
Yeah.
Then I don't realize it. I come up to the tasting room where I go home and I just am covered in tape.
Do you have a favorite superhero?
I like Batman.
Okay. And is there a favorite book or podcast or anything that you have recently read that you've enjoyed most?
I'm still in the middle of Shantaram. It's a big book, and every time I go on vacation, I start it again, it feels like. I'm going to get through it this vacation. I haven't gotten through it. Not to say it's great. And then, favorite book, do you say?
Well, just last book.
So Shantaram, what was the last one? Book Thief.
Oh, okay. Nice. What is the Shantaram about?
Shantaram is about a felon from Australia. It's a true story. It's a felon from Australia. It actually just came out. I think there's a TV show on it now. I don't know what channel. And he gets convicted of a crime, but he ends up escaping jail in Australia and fleeing to India, into what was then Bombay, and getting into kind of like the dark circles there, kind of, and yeah, all wild stuff.
Okay, it sounds pretty interesting.
Yeah.
All right. Well, very cool.
I haven't finished it yet, so I don't know I can't tell you all of it.
It sounds very interesting. We'll definitely have to check it out. All right. Well, that's all the rapid fire questions that I have. Is there anything else that you would like to bring up or ask me or anything of that nature?
No, I appreciate you taking the time to have me on the podcast and chat. It's fun, and I hope to see you around the tasting room or winery and around the community.
Yeah, most definitely. I appreciate it. I appreciate you taking the time, and most definitely, I want to catch up and see you soon. I know that there's a Langlo chosen family kind of reunion getting ready to come up here pretty soon.
Yeah, we're going to do an open house kind of co-tasting on January 29th, I believe. So it should be fun. There'll be a little DJ and we'll be pouring wines, and it should be a fun time. Hopefully we have good weather.
Yeah, we'll keep our fingers crossed. We never know in January.
January 29th, yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much for your time, and we'll talk again shortly.
All right. Thanks, AJ.
All right. Thank you.